This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We look phenomenal. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Is that for us to decide?
Yeah, you know what I just read about? Don't admire quietly. Admire loudly.
Thank you, Tori.
Don't admire quietly. Admire loudly.
That's what the definition of sexual harassment.
No. Consensually, you weirdo.
I'm admiring loudly?
Okay.
That's what people yell. That's catcall.
Say female empowerment.
Female empowerment.
You're not
You just
included.
totally changed
You're
the
not
definition.
Included. You're not included.
He called me I look like a flag of a boring country. That's what he called me.
I did not say that.
He did.
That's
all
a
right.
lie.
It was a big night for Republicans. Very exciting. At the convention, I watched it all, y'all. VP nominee J.D. Vance made his big primetime debut. Whoa, that was loud. And we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, we do need to let you know President Biden has tested positive for COVID. He says he's feeling good. This is the third time he has been infected with COVID. He left Las Vegas, where he was campaigning, and he arrived in Delaware last night, where he will isolate. That's his home. As you can see, he very slowly exited Air Force One, really taking only a few steps before pausing multiple times. He also appeared to really struggle to get into the SUV. In his most recent interview, Biden spoke to BET, and he seemed more receptive to actually bowing out. Take a look.
If I had some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem. But I made a serious mistake in the whole debate. And look, when I originally ran, you may remember it, I said I was going to be a transitional candidate. And I thought that I'd be able to move from this, just pass it on to someone else. But I didn't anticipate things getting so divided.
Okay, well, meantime, there's growing pressure on Biden now to drop out. High-ranking Representative Adam Schiff has now publicly called for it, saying, quote, I believe it's time for him to pass the torch. There are also reports, these are single-source reports, that other high-ranking Democrats have told him he can't win against Trump, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, and the big one is Nancy Pelosi. Now it's being reported that all this rising pressure might be enough to convince Biden to change his mind and drop out. What do you all think? I've said this from the debate. Sam, give us a little bit more information.
You have called this.
Yeah.
You've said this for weeks now.
Yeah.
I do want to say it looks like the mounting pressure is starting to change his mind.
Talk to us.
I do want to preface this as just a constituent. This is hard to watch.
Very.
Anybody that is suffering from a cognitive decline, there is a period of grief and acceptance. It's almost the 7 stages of grief. And we are watching that in real time. And I want Biden to be able to step down and enjoy his golden years with his family and be respected for his legacy. And I hope that's what happens. Now, to your point, Tori, now who's publicly called for Biden to step down as a nominee? 1 Democratic senator, 20 House representatives, definitely media, celebrities, including George Clooney. However, that's publicly.
Right.
Privately, what it seems like from a number of different insiders that I've heard from, it seems like the entire Democratic Party has told him privately, this is what we have to do. We need you to be in alignment with us. In fact, they've already rolled out the nomination, the DNC nomination, for 1 more week. So I think within that next couple of weeks, we're going to be hearing of him resigning.
I agree completely with what you said, and I love what you said about the cognitive decline, because there is a denial period of I'm the last to see it. Someone here told me that, and that is such a beautiful way of saying it. I want to get your take, Al, on also sort of the dignity loss. I don't know. How do you feel about that? I just wanted to speak on that a little bit and what you thought. Will Biden drop out, in your opinion, as well?
I mean, we see this in sports all the time. You're always the last to know. You were the greatest, Erica. People have posters of you. There are Nike commercials of you. And now all of a sudden the same people that used to talk to you about your next huge contract are talking to you. And you're like, no, I just had a bad few weeks. Your mind, after I ruptured my Achilles tendon, the reason I stopped playing pickup basketball is I could still play, but I couldn't get to the spots that I knew I needed to get. I'd be like, oh, I know Sam's going to go to, and I couldn't get there. And there's a weird delay between your body and your brain and them getting together and saying, hey, maybe we need to hit the elliptical instead.
And your memory, your
Right.
muscle memory, so to speak.
Right.
Because the thing, this is the last I'll say in the last sports analogy, but Muhammad Ali's last few fights were really difficult to watch, and they're not televised very often. And the reason his cornermen said they kept letting him go back out there is because he'd always pulled off a miracle. He had done the impossible, so why not this time? And it's hard to know that the last time was your last time, and I'm worried that that's what we're looking at.
What do you think, Cobb?
Yeah, you know how much I love podcasts, and one of my favorite ones is Holding Court with Ebony K. Williams, and I thought she did a brilliant job yesterday, especially speaking about this from the lens of a black woman. And for every person who has talked about, you know, their grandparents or parents saying, oh, you know, I'm scared. I'm scared for my family. I'm scared for... Then there's also a contingent of people, black people in this country, other minority groups who are like, I don't know what all of this is about, but I do know that the other option, as in Trump, is not an option.
Of course, of course.
And as a result, I think even if Biden still ended up on the ticket, he is going to get some level of support from people who we don't really hear from on a regular basis. Is that enough support to win the election? I mean, that's the reason why we're having this conversation right now.
Right.
But then also, what is the alternative?
Right.
What are we looking at?
Right.
So there is a sense of what we know is far safer than that we don't know.
I do also want to say, that's beautifully said, that a lot of people are blaming Jill, Dr. Jill Biden, people around him and stuff like that. The end decision has to come, and this is just constitutionally, with him. It has to end with him. You can't make a president step down. It is just not like that. So at the end, Joe himself, and I say this with such respect, he's gone through such tragedy in his life, he has to make this choice to move on. And I really hope he doesn't, I hope he's not defiantly dangerous in this, is what David Axelrod said.
Is it true, though, that he has to make the choice? Because what about the 25th Amendment? If it were, and this was something that was brought up in this podcast, and I thought it was a very interesting point, if we are so concerned about his health and his cognitive decline, then why aren't we speaking on the 25th Amendment?
I think some people are. That would take the entire cabinet, and there's no way in heck that they would do that for Joe Biden. They just want him to have the dignity of making it himself. Coming up on DBL, JD Vance. Hello, let's meet him. Who is this guy? He makes his marks as Trump's running mate at the Republican National Convention, while Trump's 17-year-old granddaughter, she steals the spotlight. And Harry Connick Jr. is here to tell us all about his new movie. Stay tuned for that. Welcome back to DBL. A lot of eyes were on the Republican National Convention, including these green ones, as J.D. Vance officially accepted former President Trump's vice presidential nomination. In his primetime speech, Vance slammed President Biden. But what has everyone talking is really when he spoke about his roots, chronicled in his very well-written Hillbilly Elegy memoir and movie. Take a look at this.
Joe Biden screwed up, and my community paid the price. Now, I was lucky. Despite the closing factories and the growing addiction in towns like mine, in my life, I had a guardian angel by my side. She was an old woman who could barely walk, but she was tough as nails. I called her Mamaw, the name we hillbillies gave to our grandmothers. Our movement is about single moms like mine, who struggled with money and addiction, but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
That's amazing. There was another speaker last night that a lot of people say stole the spotlight. Meet Trump's granddaughter. This is 17-year-old Kai Madison Trump. She talked about her, quote, normal grandpa who used to sneak them candy and soda when her parents weren't looking. What do we think of Kai and Vance's speech reaching out to blue-collar voters? Sam, you have some more info.
Yes, in case you did not tune in, as an individual, I have a lot of respect for J.D. Vance's growth and how he came from nothing and made himself out to be something, okay? A lot of dysfunction that he had to overcome and adversity. When it comes to his policies, I staunchly disagree. As far as his economic populism, though, he does show support for unions. He did say that he wants to make sure that he is fighting for the working people and not Wall Street, which
it almost sounded like a Democratic.
Which I appreciate, but then personally on social issues, this is where the buck stops with me. His abortion stance is he opposes it, even in cases of incest or rape. Also, he opposes the U.S. support for Ukraine. He does want to finish that border wall. And last but certainly not least, he does not believe that climate change is any sort of threat and wants to relocate money that is going right now to combat climate change.
Yeah, I think the Ukraine thing is going to be a big sticky issue because
I think abortion will too.
I think abortion will too, absolutely. I absolutely agree. But Ukraine is not 100% a Republican-Democratic issue. There's a bipartisan issue of wanting to support that Democratic group against Russia, and he very much opposes it. The abortion, I completely agree. He is the mouthpiece.
I don't know how against Russia as many people in this country are. You might think there are.
I would hope they are.
I don't think so. I mean, if you think about Putin, he's been talked about in fairly glowing terms by the Republicans. Trump has trumpeted the fact that he's a strong man. And if you look at Russia as
would you say Republicans or Trump talks about Putin that way?
I would say Trump is the party.
Okay.
So by default.
Okay. Because Trump has a weird relationship with
well, I mean, we've seen the shift in, it used to be pretty uniform in how we thought about Ukraine, and now it's not so much. Every time they need an aid bill passed, it's kind of up in the air where remember, it used to be flags and people's avatars on the internet saying we support Ukraine. You don't hear that as much. So, and as it pertains to the opioids, I was living in South Florida when all that went down. I needed opioids after my surgery and had them attempted to be thrown at me through a T-shirt gun by my doctor, and there was a Republican president in office. So I will just say I don't totally agree with that at all, and I saw it happen in real time. It was attempted to happen to me, and so that I can say for a fact, because I lived through it, that's a disingenuous statement.
I appreciate that personal take on that. Coming up on DBL, get ready. Harry Connick Jr. is here. Yep, that's right. He's telling us how he deals with creative blocks when it comes to acting, and it's fascinating. Stay tuned. Get ready to shop also, because we got great items in today's Deal Blast, like this digital air fryer.
Ooh.
Welcome back. When life gets you down, sometimes you just need to get away from it all. And that's exactly what Harry Connick Jr. is up to in the new movie, Find Me Falling. Earlier, we spoke with him all about it. Take a look.
What are you doing in Cyprus?
I'm taking a break from my music career.
If you're gonna live in Cyprus, you have to learn to eat and drink like a Cypriot.
Are they gonna stop bringing us food?
No.
Our studio isn't excited or anything. Please welcome Harry Connick Jr.
Hey, guys.
This new movie, Find Me Falling, is about a singer taking a sabbatical to Cyprus to get his creative mojo back. And I wanted to ask you how often you experience a creative block, because we all go through it, and how do you walk yourself through it?
This is a terrible thing to say, but I don't really have blocks because I've worked my whole life to try to get to a point where creativity isn't coming from an external source. It comes completely from inside, which means that I should theoretically have the ability to create something, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Right.
But I never feel like at a loss for ideas because I believe in, it's like we're talking right now. Like I'm not at a loss for words talking to you.
That makes one of you.
Yeah, I am. So, yeah. I'm just kidding. No, I hear what you're saying. Just creating every day is important, and that doesn't stop.
Yeah, created. Yeah, exactly. Like for this movie, I wrote 2 songs because I had to write 2 songs. It was different than if I'm doing an album and I'm thinking about things in a different way. The director said, I need a song that says this. I need a song that says this. And so I said, okay, and center the songs. And so it just kind of comes from within, I guess.
That's amazing. By the way, my in-laws live in Cape Cod, and we drive by your house sometimes and wave. So just
Okay.
That's what all stalkers say.
Yeah, we apologize for that, Harry.
So sorry.
The level of unprofessionalism is
Sorry.
I believe
bone-jarring.
HR just walked in the building.
I apologize, Mr. Connick.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, I did kind of want to follow up on something you were talking about because I thought what you had to say about creativity is super interesting. Do you see creativity and inspiration as different things? Like, is there some place that you might go to find inspiration?
These are such unusual and great questions. I have this system of what I call lateral creativity, which is much too long to talk about on this show. But essentially, I don't need to go anywhere to create. That doesn't mean I can't be inspired by a place or a thing or a person. But the way I look at it is I'm always putting myself into a position to create something. And even when I'm not, like right now, all I care about is talking to y'all. So I'm not thinking about creating. But if I had to, I feel like I could. And again, it may not be anything of worth, but it's a much longer conversation, but it's something I've been working on for, decades.
I want to talk about you and your wife because you just celebrated your 30th anniversary.
Mazel tov.
Congratulations. I personally feel that your wife might be able to teach a masterclass on patience and self-confidence because if what you get is Tori a lot of times, she's got to be able to do that. So what's the most important thing that she's taught you about being a husband?
Oh, now that's a really long conversation because she's taught me so much. From the very first few days that I knew her, and the reason I was so attracted to her was because of this inner strength, which is exactly the same today. I feel safe around her. I feel like I deeply respect her. I listen very carefully to her, and she's just been gifted with a lot of qualities that I find aspirational, and I feel very lucky that our daughters can have her as a role model.
I think every wife would want to have their husband describe them like that. So Harry Connick Jr., you are a real gem. Thank you so much for joining us. DBL Nation, do not miss Harry in Find Me Falling, premiering July 19th on Netflix. You are not going to want to miss it. Thank you again. We'll be right back.
Thanks,
you again. Y'all. Great to be with you.
Thank you. Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out.
I'd like to go shopping. What do you have for us today?
Hello and hi DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you everything we've got today. As ever, you're going to want it all because I definitely do. So let's check it all out. First up, we've got the Malibu Sky Hannah double compartment sling with a nice little webbing strap.
Oh, cute.
So this deal includes one sling available in 4 colors. So normally these are $98.
Ooh.
We've got them for $19.99. That's saving 80%. Up next, we have the Caloric Max 16-quart digital air fryer oven.
Wow.
This deal includes 1 air fryer with accessories. And normally, this is $220 for this right here.
It's not bad, though.
We've got it for $79.99, which is saving 59%.
And it just like cuts down on a lot of mess. I'm telling you guys, it's a really, really good investment.
Up next, we've got the Diamond Muse half-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings.
Hello.
The deal includes 1 pair of earrings, which are 14-carat white gold, which are great for everyday wear. Normally, these are $500. However, we have got them for $149.99. That is saving 70%.
Guys, this is a great way to give someone you love or yourself diamonds in a way that you feel comfortable with at the price you feel comfortable with.
There you go, Tori. This has got your name all over it.
I know it.
And last up but not least, we've got the 2-pack Craft and Kin candles. Ooh. So with the deal, you get 2 of them, which means you can put them in different rooms in your home, or you can share one with a friend, which is always lovely.
Yes.
And normally they're $21 each. Okay. However, we've got a 2-pack for $10.
Oh, that's
saving 76%.
Head on over, as you know, to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on screen right now. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph.
Marquita Baker says, I remember Harry Connick Jr. from Hope Floats. What a great movie.
I was obsessed with him in Copycat.
Oh, Copycat.
I have never heard of these movies.
He's a bad guy.
Killer.
Sexy,
When
though.
would I ever watch
Sigourney
Hope
Weaver.
Floats?
So good. Watch it. Bye.